Okay, and good evening everybody. Today is Sunday, it is the 19th of August, okay, and we're here with a new comic book review. Sorry about it being today rather than yesterday, but here we go, issue 7 to 12 of Supergirl, the new 52, okay. Click on the link obviously on the screen for the first 6 issues, okay. Now we carry on from where we left off, where the World Killers arrived in Metropolis, and one of them was giving Supergirl a lesson, history as it were, regarding their origin, where they came from, how they came about, where how the world killers, where they originated from. And it turns out that they were actually they were in fact created on Krypton in a lab, as you can see here. There they are. That's like 4 of them in there. So they were actually developed on Krypton. So they've all come back to seek vengeance, and unfortunately they can only take on Supergirl since Krypton's obviously destroyed. So these 4 in particular are quite dangerous. Supergirl does put up a very, very good fight. She's actually stronger than they perceived her to be, all 4 of them. What were their names again? We have Perilous, Rain, who's like the leader, Dimax, and Flower of Heaven. How cute! but yeah, as I say, that's where it carries on from, obviously, from issue 6. So the 7th issue sees this major fight taking place over in Metropolis, and the way that it ends was quite interesting as well. We actually find that she does, she ends up defeating them, but what happens is that Rain realizes that Kara has done a lot of damage to all 4 of them, that they end up surrendering and off they go, kind of thing. But before she leaves, she tells Supergirl that there was actually 5 of these world killers, but only 4 of them appeared. So Rain is saying to Kara before she leaves, who or where is the 5th? That still remains the mystery. So that's where issue 7 pretty much ended. Now we get on to issue 8, and this sees the introduction, or reintroduction if you want, of Silver Banshee. Okay, there's the front cover right there. So this is where we meet Silver Banshee for the first time. Well, in the new 52 anyway. We have this woman here who has the ability to speak Kryptonian, even though she's actually Irish. But she has this power that allows her to pick up languages pretty much just straight away. So she saves Supergirl from almost being attacked by the military, which has happened like often since she's arrived on Earth. Every time she causes a destruction, they like to attack her, kind of thing. So anyway, Siobhan Smythe, who's the character that comes to Supergirl's rescue, explains a bit more to her about what her power can do, what her magic in some ways can do. Obviously, as she says, she has the ability to pick up Kryptonian very well, but it's not just Kryptonian, it's any language anyway. So Siobhan takes her back to her place. Quite a cute looking apartment, you can see. Reminds me of my room at one point. So anyway, they get to know each other. She gives Kara some new outfit to wear, so she's not always in her Supergirl costume. They go out. Siobhan's doing a gig, and then in the middle of this gig, something happens. The crowd suddenly, their faces become long and distorted, as you can see here. It's not very pretty, to say the least. They all look a bit freaky to her, and then she realises what it actually is. Turns out it's her father, the Black Banshee, who's actually taken over the humans and goes after Siobhan. Not until, of course, Siobhan then becomes what she's destined to become, the Silver Banshee, right there. As you can see, it's quite awesome. So that's there in issue 8. Now, in issue 9, we get a back history of Siobhan and her family, not just herself, but obviously her dad and even her brother as well. So we're taken back to when it was back in Ireland, 13 years ago, as it says there. So we get a bit of history, learning about Siobhan, her brother Tommy, as he's called. He sacrifices himself to save Siobhan, not realising that what he's actually done is not actually save Siobhan by any means. He's only made it worse. But it's not until 13 years later, Daddy Dearest comes along. Siobhan becomes Silver Banshee because obviously her dad's the Black Banshee, and then the Black Banshee consumes, as I like to put it, Supergirl, traps her in himself, and this is the same way that he did with Tommy, because Supergirl has this ability where she can raise her body temperature and actually become effectively sunlight. It's quite an incredible power. But as I say, this is where she goes in to Black Banshee to try and save Silver Banshee, but that doesn't actually go according to plan, because come issue 10, well, she's in there and she meets Silver Banshee, Siobhan's brother, Tommy. Learns a bit more about him. And I remember when I actually posted, when I looked at this cover, I said, oh, I wonder why she's wearing the armour. And it actually does make sense why she's wearing the armour in this issue, because she's inside the Black Banshee's world kind of thing, with Tom Smythe as well. And she pretty much focuses herself to have the armour for herself. She's in some sort of illusion. Black Banshee creates an illusion, and she then decides that she can actually have a willpower in there. She's got the strength. She can't really fly per se, but she's still got a bit of strength. She can make objects, as you can see. Okay, so she has the ability to somehow fight her way back, which she does eventually do. And when she eventually gets back out, she not only comes out herself, but she frees Tommy at the same time. So Tommy has come back out. Tommy hasn't aged, by the way, all the time that he's been inside their dad's body. So Siobhan's very pleased with that. And then towards the back end, we're seeing someone taking some sort of change in shape, using a camouflage out of nanotech, as you can see here. Doesn't really have a name as such, but that just gives you an idea of what's to come in the next issue. And so what we get in issue 11, hang on, a bit more interaction, which is very cute, between Supergirl, Kara, and Tom Smythe. They learn a bit more. The front cover, as it says there, ambushed and absorbed by living nanotech, as I said. But yeah, she's she's living obviously with Siobhan and Tom. She catches Tom half naked after he comes out of the bathroom, right there, as you can see. And Siobhan pretty much takes a dig at her brother about it, because she's happy about the fact that he's embarrassed. She's obviously, I'm guessing it's a sibling thing from when she was younger. He was always, digging at her kind of thing, so she's got her own back sort of thing. Her powers sort of kick in. Then we get the nanotech guy strikes, basically, as you can see there. So Supergirl starts fighting him, realizes that when she tries to fight him, he has the ability to change so fluidly. It's like a liquid sort of metal, because obviously it's nanotech. She finds it a bit hard to like punch him, and there are even times where he tries to morph her into him as well, as you can see there. It's quite scary. She does eventually find a way to defeat him. She realizes that he's not all liquid metal nanotech. She finds that there is a hard spot as opposed to a soft spot within him, and exploits that. So luckily he doesn't die, but it's just very interesting the way how she exploits that hard spot, as I like to call it. She eventually realizes that she can't stay with Siobhan and Tommy anymore, and she realizes that she has to go and get some questions answered regarding herself, where she's from, why she's on Earth, why all these things are happening to her, kind of thing. And she realizes that the only person that she can go and speak to is none other than Superman himself. Okay, so that's issue 11. So issue 12 is where it pretty much comes to a head as such. She finds Superman helps her to explain what happened during the time that she was, you know, obviously she was supposed to arrive on Earth before Superman. Kal-El was supposed to be a baby still at this point, but he's now fully grown adult. She's wondering how that's happened. So he explains to her what happened to her ship, why she's so powerful as well. And I actually quite like the explanation that they use as to why she's more powerful than Superman, because it does give you a good indication as to, you know, this is a character who, even though she's effectively younger than Superman on Earth, she still has, she's stronger by definition in some sense. And as I say, it's explained it quite well as to how that happens, why she's so powerful, and how her body also has the ability to emit, you know, high energy from the sun as well, you know, which she can glow like a light bulb basically. Still a confrontation between her and Superman. He then explains that when her ship landed on Earth, another part broke away and also landed somewhere in the ocean. So she goes after to find that bit out. So while she's down there, she gets attacked by some sea creatures. Then it looks like there's some sort of underwater fortress has emerged, has been created down there, somehow been self-built. So like Superman's got his fortress, which kind of funny, because at the beginning of this issue it tells you that he has a Arctic fortress, but also in Action Comics he has a satellite fortress. So that apparently it says it's going to be explained more in issue 13 of Action Comics, so we'll look forward to that. Anyway, so as I say, she's underwater. She's immersed in this, you know, building of some sorts. Then someone's talking to her. She has no idea who, but she's wondering who it was. She says that the voice is familiar, and even I started to think, well, hang on, is this the guy who I think it is from like the first 6 issues, from like the very beginning? And it turns out that it is the same dude that she encounters at the beginning of the very first few issues, a certain guy by the name of Simon Tycho. And if you remember the first 6 issues that I've reviewed, you'll remember what happened to him. You know, he sort of died, but he was saved again, kind of thing. And obviously we didn't hear from him for about a good number of issues, and here he's popped up again. What's he state? Well, get issue 12 and then you'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to stop there, leave it there for you. And if you're wondering, if you're looking behind me and seeing all this back here, by the way, okay, see those? Yeah, I've already done a video separate explaining about all of that, so you'll see it at some point later on. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, who knows, but when I'm ready, I'll showcase all of that for you. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you later.